How we feeling, Brisbane? Fuck yeah, comedy's good, eh? Comedy, for me, is like therapy. And we all need therapy in some way. Some people do group counselling. Some people do like yoga and meditation for their therapy. Lewis picks on people on the internet for his therapy. And me, I smoke bongs. Yeah? We got any stoners in the house tonight? Well, I punch cones like an angry council worker. Because funny shit can happen when you're smoking bongs. Like the other week, when we were on tour, I was at Lewis's house and he doesn't have a bong. So I smoked a bong through a chicken nugget. I'm 100% fucking serious. Like, how? All right, you get the chicken nugget, you get a pen, you put a hole in the side on the lengthways, you know what I mean, bro? Yeah. And you put a hole on the other side, so you got the fucking in and then the out, and the chicken filters the fucking weed, bro. And does the job. Should give it a try. After I smoked a bong through a chicken nugget, I smoked a profiterole for dessert. Because funny things can happen when you're smoking bongs. Like me and my good mates the other day, we were bored and we were smoking some bongs, and one of them tipped the water out, and he filled it up halfway full of methylated spirits. Yeah. Just come put the bong to his mouth like this, spark the lighter. And blew as hard as he could, therefore upgrading the bong into a flamethrower. It went on for like a couple of minutes. We lost our shit. And so did he. So he went to do it again, and he filled the bong back up with methylated spirits, but he was kind of giggling from the first time that he did it. And he inhaled. Fucking boom, cunt. Oh, this poor cunt. He burnt all around his lips, around the outside of his mouth, the inside his tongue and his throat and shit. And we felt bad for him. But what could we do? We started telling him jokes. Try and crack him up. And I mean literally crack him up. Every time he'd laugh, his lips would split and crack. And then we'd laugh. And then he'd laugh. And then his lips would split and crack. And then we'd laugh and he'd laugh and the lips... And it went on for about a week. It was comedy. Good therapy, you know. But I believe bongs serve a higher purpose. Bongs bring people together. For example, I was walking across this bridge in Tasmania, and this is like the suicide hotspot. This is where everyone goes to top himself in Tassie. Yeah, I know. And I was walking across the bridge, and there was this guy just sitting on the bridge, and I've lost heaps of mates to this shit fucking piece of cunt of a bridge. And, you know, I couldn't keep walking, so I stopped, and I was like, "Hey, mate, how you going?" And he just ignored me. I was like, "You right, mate? You right?" Still just ignored me. And I was, "Do you want a hug?" So I gave him a hug without his consent. And he's still, "Oh, it's Tassie." He goes, "Oh, it's Tassie. We're not rapists. We might be inbred, but we're not rapists, mate." So either way, I was talking to this guy, I gave him a hug, and he didn't want nothing to do with me. I kept trying to talk to him, and he just kept ignoring me. So I threw him off the bridge, but not really. No, I didn't throw him off the bridge. Tried to talk to him for a while, and he didn't listen, so I told him a story about my ex-girlfriend, this crazy ex-girlfriend I had that once smashed a bong over my head. Imagine that, right? You're getting up on the bridge, you're ready to fucking kill yourself. You're trying to enjoy the last moment that you have on this earth. You're sitting there, trying to block out the rest of the world and its fucking problems. Some dickhead walks by, fucking goes, "Hello, mate," and harasses you for fucking half an hour. Hug rapes you. And when he just realises that you're not in the mood for a casual conversation, he tells you a story about his ex-girlfriend, like that's gonna fucking help. But regardless of how annoying I was coming across, old mate stood up. We walked off the bridge together. We went to the local hospital to try and get some help, and they didn't fucking help. So you know what we did? We went and smoked bongs. You! Bongs save lives, ladies and gentlemen! Make some noise for bongs. Who needs Superman when you got bongs? But you know, I believe they serve a higher purpose. I mean, like I had this one mate, and this guy had like the deepest depression, but he had like a sick, twisted sense of humour. He needed to make a joke out of everything. And I found out that he was so depressed one day, like he was literally so depressed, that he actually cut his own fingers off. I'm 100% serious, he cut his own fingers off. And I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck would do that to themselves, you know? Just trip me the fuck out. And he got out of hospital a couple of weeks later, and I hit him up and I asked him, like, why would you do such a horrific thing to yourself, bro? And he said, and I quote, so you can pack my bongs for me. Yeah, I know. And I know this is a bit dark, but don't get me wrong, I've lost heaps of mates to suicide. I've lost so many mates to suicide that I'm starting to think it's me. For all my friends in the crowd, you might want to keep your distance. But you know, it's a massive issue in Tassie. The Liberals just won the election. They're fucking closing the hospital down. They fucking closed the one abortion clinic they've got in Tasmania. And they're relaxing gun laws. Like that's going to work itself out in 30 years. But yeah, it's fucked. And I mean, for example, I got a call about my mate. You know the one with the fingers? The lack of fingers. And got some horrible news. I found out that he took his own life. Well, he hung himself. But there's one thing. There's one thing that cheeky bastard left us wondering. Is how did he tie the knot? Hey. Hey. Thank you. It's all right though. It was all right. He had a really good funeral. Me and the rest of our friends, we got some chicken nuggets and we got high as fuck. That's what I call wake and bake. How we feeling, Brisbane? Fuck yeah.